Hello everyone, welcome back to Preplec Pro, and today we have Mr. Dheeraj Sir with us. And Dheeraj Sir has cracked the Deloitte interview, and he's going to share his interview experience as well as some tips and tricks to crack the aptitude and the interview of Deloitte. Without wasting time, let's get started. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We have Dheeraj sir with us, and he is going to share his interview experiences and as well as his learning about Deloitte. And sir has been placed in Deloitte last year from our campus. Sir, welcome firstly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Question is about the procedure. What was the procedure of Deloitte when it came to SP90 for placement?
So last year, like Deloitte came at around this time, this August itself. So we just came with two rounds actually. So one is an aptitude round. They asked us, we have aptitude test, like basically a very simple questions, and then they shortlisted half of the students who gave the test to a person interview, and then they selected something around 60 plus students from our year, I guess. They might be 2 or 3 rounds depending upon their interview procedures, like how they want to take the interview. So our seniors have something around 3 rounds. So before the person interview, they had a round like where they ask us to choose a particular topic, so and ask us to communicate, like talk about it for 30 seconds or a specific amount of time, just to test our communication skills. So that was there. So yeah, you can expect 2 or 3 rounds maybe this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, sir, can you tell us about your resume? What was your resume when you applied for Deloitte?
Okay,
And
my
what
resume.
Deloitte looks for looks in a resume? What are the spikes in resume for Deloitte?
Acha, fine. So my resume is completely. I'm a digital marketer before. Like I was freelancing a bit. I was running ads on Facebook and Instagram. So it's like my resume is completely on marketing, lead generations. What are the leads I generate for my clients? I've did some content marketing, content writing. So all those things, like I've all placed them in my resume, and some credentials, before I had my person interview with Deloitte people. Like I met some cousins. I have my cousins who are into HRs right now. So they told me like Deloitte looks for people who are uh, good at communicating, first thing, and the second thing is who can it looks for some leadership experiences, like any previous experience as a team leader or as a captain of any team, any sports team, or if you have led or run any events or organized any events or something like that. It will look for your team leads and all. So I've highlighted these things and how and my particular projects which if I have experience in. So this was all my resume about. And if anyone is looking to crack this interview, I have to tell you three points that just add what you're good at in the resume. Either it's core or non-core, whatever it is. Add some particular points like what you're good at. That's the first thing. We have to highlight that these are the projects I have done before, and I'm looking to join this company because I've got to know this and this roles are there in this company. And I also you have to focus the extracurriculars in this way, like how you as a leader, like how did you lead, if you have any previous experience in so and so domain. So I've been a leader before, like I've led some teams, I've worked in teams, so this is my experience. So these things, if you can highlight and portray them in a proper manner, this you can easily crack it. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So you talked about the projects. So the project should be related to core background or a non-core background.
So basically, Deloitte comes for consulting, right? So consulting, they look for some coding experience. So like if you have any coding experience and if you want to mention it, that is well and good. Like I don't have particularly I am from mechanical, so I don't have any coding experience before, but still I portrayed some non-core experience. I was into marketing, so I put that into my resume. and some of my friends also were from mechanical who have just done some mechanical projects. They have even there are people who even cracked the interview with mechanical resumes also, like non-core resume. I mean core resumes even. So like that's what, like if you have a skill, portray them that I'm good at that. They'll ask you, take the interviewers over your resume. So you have to take them through your resume. They have to ask questions only related to resume. So that's your mission here. So if you can do that, like if you can make them ask the questions that you already know, then you're already uh, good. Like you can speak to them properly, like you can explain them, present them properly what you know, right? So you can really do good with that, even it's core or non-core. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, sir, as you mentioned, that aptitude round was the first round for shortlisting for Deloitte. So, what was an aptitude round? Like, how do you prepare yourself for the
Okay,
aptitude round of
cool.
Deloitte?
So I just had a week's time. Okay, I just have week's time, and Deloitte was the second company I applied for. So I was not that focused on applying for companies and all. I just want to get placed because I want to like I want to be free. I want to enjoy my final year. Like so, I just had this India Bix. Like I guess you guys are aware of India Bix. So I just like there's some in I just practiced the aptitude part. I just went to the aptitude part. There's some topics, some n number of topics. I don't know. They're like not very much. Like there's some 15-20 topics over there. So I took personally every topic. I practiced all the questions with a timer. So if I need to know the concepts, I just went to the descriptions and I got to know, and I just practice all the India Bix questions with a timer, like with a time limit. I have to solve the questions in a faster pace. So that's what I did. Like I did for a 4 to 5 days, maybe a week's time, I guess. I don't remember. And yeah, luckily I was able to perform well in the aptitude round. I got selected, shortlisted.
Okay. So, like, that aptitude test was not very
Yeah, it's
hard.
very normal. It's very simple. The
Normal.
basic questions, not you know like they, it's very simple questions like that we solved when we were in 10th or 9th standard. Very simple questions.
Okay. So, can you just give us a topic's name which was most repeated in that
Okay.
test?
So if I have to tell you like
Uh,
all like for me like I felt like I'm solving India Bix questions again and again. So what are the topics? Time and distance, work and time. So these questions like upstream, downstream, the basic questions that are in aptitudes. Like if you go through India Bix, you'll find some topics. Almost they cover all the topics from that India Bix thing. So you can go through that. That might help you. Yeah.
so, that's great, sir. So, now
Okay.
it came to an interview. So, what were the interview questions? Like, how do you represent yourself for your
Okay.
interview?
So
What?
like you're asking some tips like how can we perform well in interview or something like that.
Yeah, sir. Because everyone has different resume, but how to go forward in interview? Like, it's like what they ask first. Is they definitely going to ask about your introduction or like that?
So it depends
How
upon
it
the
goes?
panelists, like who's gonna come in your panel. It depends upon the panel to panel. For me, my interviewer, I'll just tell you my experience, like how it went through. Like the first thing, he will go through our resume for sure. So if you want to ask some questions, he has to know about us, like about me, right? So he went to my resume. He just saw my hobbies and he asked me about my hobbies. Like I just highlighted a cooking. Like I used to cook in COVID time, so he asked me about cooking for the first 5 minutes. Like I'm like, what is he asking? Then he took me like they also look for how we handle their clients. Okay, so Deloitte, which comes for you, is Deloitte USI. Deloitte India is there. Deloitte USI is there. Deloitte USI in the sense like we deal with companies. We actually work on the projects of the companies in US. Okay, so we work for them. Okay, we work for US companies. So they look how are we capable to handle their clients, right? So he asked me all the client questions. Like suppose you're in a meeting with a client and you're presenting a project presentation. Like so these are the results we achieved, so and so, so and so. So he asked me a basic question like instead of there is a error in the presentation. So for example, you generated some leads for them. So you by mistakenly shown in the presentation the leads, instead of 500 you put them 50, and the client got to know that it is wrong. How do you go and explain that to your client? How do you show your professionalism in that? So such kind of questions. And if you are a team lead, okay, you're leading your 5-member team and you're a team lead, and your project submission deadline is 2 days, yeah, it's on Monday, and the project is not yet completed, and Saturday Sunday is a week off, right? It's a week off, like you don't have any. And how do you convince your teammates to work extra hours in the week off, in the weekend, to complete the project? How do you proceed further? So these are the questions. And one more question is like, he asked me like, you're with your senior consulting managers there, like all of them are leaders in that position. So leaders in the sense like there's some particular domains. Consulting is a domain. In consulting we have cloud, we have front end development, full stack development. So everyone has a leader. Okay, leader in the sense like maybe the one who guides and leads the people, like in the entire role in the domain. Okay, so you're with such people and you're very new there. How do you go and network? How do you start the initiation? How do you start the conversation? Like how do you introduce yourself? How do you make bonds? So these are the questions they asked me completely. They didn't ask me any coding question. Like these were the basic random questions they asked me. So yeah.
So they were basically asking more professional
Yeah.
ethics to you, like how you will be dealing with the stuff that will be a regular dealing stuff
Exactly.
when you get in
That's very
Deloitte.
important actually.
Like I really found this question very tricky. So can you just tell us your answers
Okay.
to this question if you
Yeah.
remember?
Basically,
That
there's no particular answer for these questions. Just use your common sense and just tell them. See, for example, if you're going to network with some people, okay. So this answer, I was not able to answer it. This was the first ever question they asked me, and I just really messed it up. I really messed it up. Like I didn't tell him. Like I was like, oh my god, this interview is gone. And basically, I got to know of this answer while I was attending the events at Deloitte. Like Deloitte has particular events, okay. So there's something called a Spark program, where it actually teaches us professional ethics every week. Okay, so I got to know the answer for this. Okay, so they told me a simple logic. Why should a person listen to you? Why should a person listen to you? So if you're if you want to network with some other new people, try to like you. Of course, you will know who is right, like who easy, like for sure. Try to know about themselves and try to make a conversation on their terms. Like sir, I've seen your LinkedIn profile. I got to know you have this so and so experience in this domain, and I'm really like glad to meet you so and so. I would like to know your experience. Can you tell me more about it? And then you tell about yourself. No one is interested to hear about you. No one actually is like, see, basically, like if you talk about the other person's interests and achievements, they will be more actively participating to talk to you. Okay, so this is how we network with new people and new communities over there. And remaining client questions are very simple. That's very common sense. Like there's no perfect answer for that. The how you actually go and answer that question is something the interview looks for. See for it. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Go on,
like
go on.
yes sir. Nee, I was asking like it's really like how you react to the problem. It might be possible that you are giving a wrong answer, but it's all upon the way you
Yeah.
react to the problem
Yeah. The
or your
approach is
approach to the
what they look
answer.
for. See. Yeah. That's it.
Okay.